The story begins in Seoul, Korea, where we see ticks crawling in a lab, some of which die and come back to life. It was clear that they were part of some experiment. There were many doctors' dead bodies lying in that lab, which made it clear that they had all been victims of an experiment. Just then we see Dr. Young, who is trying to save his daughter at any cost. After a while he says to his daughter, "My experiment has been successful. I will save you." Just then the doctor tries to inject his daughter, but some officers come and point guns at him and tell him to stop. They tell the doctor that many people have died because of his experiment, so all this has to stop immediately. But the doctor was not ready to listen to anyone. He tells the officers, "I will not stop. I have to save my daughter." Then he goes to inject again when an officer shoots him. But just then all the surrounding buildings start shaking. Looking outside, it is seen that a terrible earthquake has hit the whole of Korea. Everyone inside the building dies in it. After this, the scene 3 years later is shown in the story, where we see that the whole of Korea has turned into a wasteland. People are living with great difficulty. Their resources, minerals, everything is finished. They are not getting food properly, and it has become difficult to get food and water due to not raining for a long time. Here we see a boy named Jian who sees a crocodile in front of him and immediately throws an arrow at the crocodile, but the crocodile attacks him instead and is about to eat him when a man named Namsan comes and cuts off the crocodile's head. Jian realizes that he was lucky, because if Namsan was not there at that time, Jian would have been in the crocodile's stomach by now. Namsan and Jinan hunt together and sell the meat of the hunted animals in the market. In return, they collect water and other necessary things. In the market, they were selling crocodile meat when a girl named Kate offers a lot of gold instead of food, but they both refuse to take it because after the earthquake, gold had no value. But the girl says, "When everything is fine, these will be worth millions of rupees." Jian then gets angry and says, "Everything will never be the same again." Actually, this girl was weak towards Namsan, but Namsan ignores her and hands her a dead snake. Just then, a girl named Sahana comes to the market with her grandmother and meets Namsan. Sana's grandmother had known Namsan before, because once Namsan saved Sana's life, and Namsan thinks of Sana as his own child. Here we understand that Jens likes me very much, but cannot say anything because of Namsan's fear. Then, when Sana was leaving with the meat, some goons came and started misbehaving with the people in the market. Actually, they have come to take away some young boys and girls, but a man stops them. Then they cut off the man's hand, which makes everyone tremble with fear. Just then, a goon's eye falls on Sana, and he wants to take Sana away. Seeing this, Jian gets angry and jumps on the goons, but since the goons are many in number, Jian is beaten by them instead. Just then, Namsan comes and starts beating everyone. Seeing Namsan, the goons start trembling with fear, and with one punch, the goons are scattered. Then, Namsan grabs a goon and asks, "Who do you work for? Who sent you here?" The goon says, "We are Tiger's men. He has sent us here." Namsan then says, "Tell your boss Tiger. If he comes here again, his end will be very bad." As soon as Namsan says this, all the goons run away in fear. Actually, Namsan was once a very famous fighter and hunter. That's why everyone is afraid of him. After a while, Namsan and Jinan come to the market and see a group of people gathered. Jin asks, "What is happening here?" Just then, a woman named Sia says, "We are people from the government party. We provide free education to children under 20 years of age in a government apartment and provide accommodation for their families because children are our future. We provide them with food and clean water so that they can build a better future." Sia further says, "That's why we want to take Sana with us." Namsan asks, "Is there any problem with the goons there?" Sia says, "You don't have to worry, we have experienced military-grade fighters in our team. They always protect us." Hearing Sia's words, Sana's grandmother agrees, because it will be good for Sana's future. So Namsan cannot refuse either. In the evening, Sayana and her grandmother pack their belongings and leave for the apartment with Sia. On the way, Sayana's other friend Kim, she also wants to go with them. On the other hand, Sayana's grandmother's health deteriorates due to walking a long distance. Then, Sia says to Sana, "We will not be able to take your grandmother all the way. Instead, let's take her to a nearby emergency medical home. She will join us tomorrow." Sana agrees to this and everyone starts moving forward again. After going some distance, they see some cars waiting for them. Seeing this, Sana suspects if these cars were so close, then why did she separate her grandmother? When Sana asks Sia about this, she does not get any clear answer, which further strengthens her suspicion. On the other hand, Jian becomes depressed due to Sana and her grandmother leaving. After a while, they go out to hunt. After going some distance, they see some soldiers killing an old man. The soldiers throw the old man into a ditch. Then a soldier stabs Samana's grandmother in the back and kills her. Seeing this scene, Jinan and Namsan start fighting with the soldiers. Namsan beats the soldiers terribly in anger. But the surprising thing is that those soldiers get up again. Namsan kills him again, but he stands up again. Just then, a girl named Lee behind and helps them. The next morning, they bury Sonata's grandmother's body. Legree tells them that these soldiers can only be killed by separating their heads from their bodies. She further says that there is an apartment a little far away, where many surviving people have to be rescued, and for this you need help. Actually, Lee was an Air Force officer. While searching for survivors after the earthquake, she finds that apartment, which was completely safe and had a good source of clean water. They make it habitable. At that time, a man named Dr. Young was present there. He was the only doctor who survived the earthquake, so Lee thought that Yanfief would be useful to them. But the problem starts when it is seen that Dr. Young has taken some girls under 20 years of age for his research, and they are not found. When Lee asks Dr. Young about this, suddenly 2 soldiers come and surround him. Just then, one soldier shoots the other soldier, and he dies immediately. But after a while, that soldier gets up again. Seeing this terrible scene, Lee gets scared. Then Dr. Young tells him that he has created a special injection, which will make people immortal. And this is the world of the future. He wants to make everyone immortal one by one. He would have died in the earthquake too, but he is still alive because of this research. Hearing this, Lee gets very angry and grabs Dr. Young's collar and asks, "Where are those children?" Then a man named Paul shoots Lee, which directly hits her shoulder. But Lee somehow escapes from there by breaking the window. After this, Lee tells Namsan and Junon to help him. Namsan says, how will they fight alone with this army of soldiers? They need to get help from more people. Then the 3 of them go to Tiger's hideout and ask for his help. But Tiger was fighting with his rival John's gang at that time. Tiger tells John, Namsan was a famous fighter. That's why I left boxing. If any of you can kill him, then I will hand over all my men to you. After hearing this, everyone together attacks Namsan and Junon. But Namsan alone beats everyone. Then everyone runs away here and there. Finally, Namsan catches Tiger, and Junon checks his weapons, where they find clean water along with weapons. Then Namsan asks Tiger, do you bring this clean water from that apartment? Tiger admits they get food and clean water from the apartment in exchange for supplying them with people. Lately, their demand is only for boys and girls under 20 years old. Hearing this, Jeanine gets angry and knocks Tiger unconscious. Meanwhile, in the apartment, Sia takes Sana and the other children to a classroom. Kim's parents ask when they can see their children. Sia tells them they can see them during the parent-teacher meeting. Then she takes everyone to the 8th floor, where they have clean water, good food, and nice rooms. Their parents are working hard in the basement below. Sia informs Dr. Young that 2 young women, Kim and Safina, have arrived, perfect for the research. Dr. Young says, okay, take good care of them. Always give them clean water and good food. Sitting in class, Sasana notices that all the other children are looking at her strangely. Moreover, everyone has a cut mark on their neck. Sana then asks Sia, since they have so much clean water which is also used for bathing, why can't they share it with the people outside? Hearing this, Sia gets a little annoyed and gives an answer that cannot satisfy Sana. After that, Sia starts teaching the class, but Sanena's attention is not on studies. Dr. Young enters the class and says that children are the future, so good food and clean water are very important for them. This food and water are specially purified and prepared only for them. As soon as he says this, Young's men start distributing food and water among the children. But Sarai expresses suspicion about all this, so she doesn't eat or drink anything. Dr. Young goes to Kim and asks, will you help me in my research? Kim happily agrees. Then she is taken away from there. Out of curiosity, Samana leaves her room at night and goes directly to Dr. Young's office. On the other hand, Young meets Kim's parents, where they beg, crying, to see their daughter. Dr. Young agrees and takes them with him. Meanwhile, Sana, searching, reaches Young's lab, where she sees a pipe inserted into Kim's neck. Just then, Young and Kim's parents enter the lab. Sana hides before they arrive. Seeing her daughter in this condition, Kim's parents cry and plead to save her. Then Dr. Young tells them that there is a special liquid in the children's necks, which can be used to make a special serum. After saying this, he shows them his daughter, whose lower body is completely gone, but surprisingly, her heartbeat is still active. Seeing this, Kim's parents are terrified. Just then, due to a system malfunction, Kim dies. Enraged, Dr. Young shouts, you see, that's why I can't tolerate any kind of hindrance. Then he kills Kim's parents. As Dr. Young is about to wash his hands, he sees Sana and grabs her, laying her on the examination table. He says, the food and water we gave you created a special liquid in your necks. Using this, we create a serum that can make someone live for a long time without eating and make them strong. Right after saying this, he cuts Sama's neck. Meanwhile, Namsen and his friends enter the apartment in a truck and shoot down all the soldiers in front of them with shotguns. With Lee's help, they move forward. Seeing her friends in a terrible state, Lee decides to help them. But there was nothing more to do, because due to Dr. Young's experiment, they had all turned into zombies. So everyone starts killing the zombies one by one. During the fight, Nassan runs out of bullets. Then he attacks the remaining zombies with a sword. Within moments, he destroys all the zombies. Dr. Young himself takes the liquid collected from Sana's body as an injection, but his body gets even worse, because Samana never drank that purified water, so there was no change in her body. Because of this, Young bursts with anger. Just then Jinan tries to attack him, but a soldier stops him from behind. Taking this opportunity, Young flees with his daughter, but before leaving, he detonates a bomb in the building, causing massive destruction throughout the building. When he regains consciousness, Namsan rushes in and looks for Jian. He and Lee rescue them from the lab and bring them outside. However, as soon as they come out, the people surround Young from all sides and they start beating him mercilessly. One of them snatches the bag from Young's hand and destroys all the serum. Enraged, Young starts shooting indiscriminately, as a result of which many innocent people lose their lives. In this chaos, a few bullets also hit Young's daughter and she dies on the spot. Meanwhile, all the children reunite with their parents. Everyone is overjoyed. But Drive, Young is devastated by the death of his daughter. But, due to the chemical reaction in his body, his condition also deteriorates rapidly. By then, Namsan and his friends come outside. Young, distraught with grief, rushes to kill Sana, but Namsan shoots him first. Later, Namsan hands over the responsibility of the apartment to Liwai, and as everyone is leaving, it suddenly starts raining. After not raining for a long time, the suffering they have endured has come to an end today. As the saying goes, a drowning man clutches at a straw. But here, it seems that the whole sky is sharing their joy. Then a scene 2 weeks later is shown, where we see Kate is again flirting with Namsan. Seeing this, Jian and Samana forcibly send Namsan to Kate, and this beautiful moment ends the movie. We have all heard one thing: greed is the root of all evil. This issue is also clearly reflected in this movie. It was not greed for wealth, but greed for immortality. See, because of this greed, how many people have lost their lives and how many have suffered a terrible fate like zombies. The way Allah has created us is right for us. What He has planned is the right path for us. So friends, let me know in the comments how you liked today's story. And many thanks to those who have watched the entire video. Subscribe to the channel for more new stories like this. We will talk in some later video. Till then, everyone stay well, stay healthy. Bye-bye.